Okay. All right. So welcome to your Footy Fantasy podcast, our weekly episode here on this lovely Sunday. Lovely Sunday for some of us. Lovely, not so lovely for some of us. But but we're still going to give you the very best of football analysis, and we're going to make sure that you're going to have entertainment, banter, analysis in this episode. So before I proceed, I'm going to introduce our guests for this very podcast today, starting from the man representing the Tune Army, the true Jody. Well, probably not the true Jody.
No, not the true Jody.
Counterfeit, counterfeit Jody. No, but yeah, Raji, you're welcome to the show. Great
Thank you
to have
so
you with
much.
us again.
I appreciate
Great.
the invite.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And
I
then
don't,
we have
I don't,
sorry.
I don't want to say too much because it's always difficult when you are like sitting on the throne and looking down on people. I don't want to boast, so
Mm,
I'll just keep it light. So thank you very much for having me.
King in the North. King in the North. I don't know what throne you're talking about, but we'll see. We will expatiate on that later.
We'll expatiate.
And we're also welcoming the king, so to speak, the king of DJs, DJ Kabiesi. Literally translates to king of DJs. Representing the Scousers in the house. Thank you, DJ Kabiesi, for joining us.
Chairman, I appreciate you. Good to be here.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And also we have representing the Chelsea Blues, suffering a lot of blues recently, but at least he showed up. He showed up, and we're grateful for you showing up, Asha. Welcome.
To the wig.
Fantastic. So we're going to jump right in. We just have a couple of topics to start off with today. We'll probably start off with the biggest match of the weekend. They came back from the international break straight back into Premier League action. And what better way to start than the match between first and second at that time? At that time, it was first and second. And so it was Man City versus Liverpool. But before I do that, let me just really do some housekeeping. If you're joining us for the first time, we have our YouTube channel at Footy Fantasy, and our Twitter handle is at Footy AD Fantasy, and Instagram also at Fantasy Footy. We also have a website, footyfantasy.com, and we have a Facebook group also where you can reach out to us. Yeah, so let's fly into it. Man City versus Liverpool, first versus second, clash of the Titans, Pep versus Klopp, all of that ended up being a draw. I'm going to get Bola's thoughts on this shortly. For me, well, as a Liverpool fan, I thought a draw would be fine. Reason being, it was an awkward time to play them, coming back from international break, coming back straight from international break, and coming back to an away game at the Etihad, which is the toughest place to go. We're not just saying that it's the toughest place to go. Statistically, it was the toughest place to go. This year, nobody had gone there without coming back with a defeat. 23 straight games this year, 2023. Every single team that went there got beat. So it was a tough game, and I was thinking, well, this is not a good time to play them with our South American stars coming back from the international break. So yeah, I was satisfied with the draw. I felt going into it, a defeat wouldn't have been terminal because it would have been a 4-point gap. And I believe they would have dropped points elsewhere for us to be able to catch up with them. Because, make no mistake, I was one of the very few people at the beginning of the season who tipped Liverpool to be champions. I put my mouth where my heart was, even though I knew I would be open to ridicule. But we had the predictions for the Footy Fantasy crew. And I was the only person that chose Liverpool as champions at the start of the season. This was before we even kicked the ball this season. For some reason, I felt we could probably do it. So, if that's coming from the perspective of thinking that we could champions, I would have loved if we beat them, but a draw was fine. And I thought a defeat wouldn't be terminal because I just feel this Liverpool team this season, there's something cooking there. So yeah, the match finished 1-1. They went in the lead. Liverpool fought back second half. Trent, the Scouser, shut them up. And yeah, it was a good match to watch. So Bola, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a great match. It was a great match. Two of the best teams in the league battling out. The rivalry of this generation, right? I was okay with the draw. Going into the match, I thought that if we came out with a draw, then I would be okay with that. Like you said, like no one has gotten any points from Man City at home in the last year. I think it's like 24 unbeaten. Is that correct, Ola?
Sorry?
24 matches unbeaten at home.
No, not just unbeaten. 23 straight wins at home. They were about to equal. They were about to equal a 100-year-old record, basically, until we stopped them.
That's absolutely madness. So, like coming out with a draw, like I can't be mad at that. I think our boys played well. I'm very optimistic about this team too. I think our team can do a lot of damage, especially as we start to grow and evolve. It was definitely a chess match the whole way through. We were making tactical changes. Pep was making counter changes. It was definitely a match of ebbs and flows. Certain people definitely stood out to me in the game. So I thought that Kostas had a really good game. Kostas played really well. Obviously, people always try to avoid Van Dijk, but Matip also played well as well. I thought they were solid. I also do believe, I think McAllister actually played okay. A lot of people are trying to criticize McAllister. I don't think McAllister really did anything wrong. And Soboslai, obviously, he's been doing well. We're a little bit anemic up front. Salah had a little bit of a quiet game. I'd have loved to see a little bit more from him. And, it's unusual for me to say that Salah had a quiet game, but it's even more unusual for me to say that Alisson didn't really have a great game.
Yeah.
And it happens, it happens. He's been our best player all year for the last couple of years, right? So it's okay to have a one-off game, but I thought it was a well-contested match. Definitely highlights. I want to put a spotlight on Gravenberch. I thought when Gravenberch came in, he played really well. I thought Trent did a great job on Doku. I thought Doku was making him dance, but ultimately, as I was saying in the pub, because I was at the pub at 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy. I was okay with Doku having the lane. Have the lane, just don't cut inside. And I think Trent only made one mistake with that goal off of that butchered kick out where he allowed him to get inside. But other than that, I thought Trent had a really good game too. And so, my summation is, it's Liverpool versus City. It's never going to be easy. I'm okay with the point, and we keep moving on. Another hard fixture out the way. Now let's not fumble over some of the teams that aren't City.
Exactly.
No respect on anyone's name, but not every team is City, right? So let's not fumble these other matches, and let's just keep moving forward.
Yeah, so that's the point. Before I get the thoughts of Raji and Asher, for me as a Liverpool fan, in a title challenging season, all the ones we've seen and we've lost by a point to City, I always feel it's not the games against City that are the most important, but the games against the bottom half. Like City are very good at the bottom 10 teams. You play them twice. That means there are 60 points at stake for the bottom 10. And City are so good at taking at least 50 to 55 out of those 60 points. Liverpool struggle with that. So when we lose the title, it's usually we've gone to Luton to draw at Luton. We even had to score a last-minute equalizer just to get a point there. So Liverpool, that's for me is the biggest fear. It's the biggest fear. The biggest fear. We have Fulham, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United. If we take anything less than 9 points from those games, I think it's going to be a trouble. We have to be winning all of those bottom half games. We have to, and so that's why I always feel City is not. Of course, it's good to beat your direct rivals, but if you want to win the league, That's not the most important thing. You have to make sure you clean up points from all the bottom half, all those mid-table, home and away, get your maximum points. That's how you beat a title challenge.
Yeah.
And in relation to what you said for the game itself, I just felt, like you said, it's a chess match. There were not many clear-cut opportunities. And at the end of the day, I just think a draw was a fair result. I don't think any team did enough to actually win it. I think we had chances, they had chances. Our Allison, I feel so sorry for him. I think it's one of those days when you go to work, you wake up, get out of bed, and the day starts on a bad note. Like you put your feet on the ground and you step on something, immediately you wake up. And the rest of the day just goes badly from there. Yeah. That's Allison. That was Allison on Saturday. From the very first minute, he was so shaky, and then the last minute, he put his hamstring. So you just know it's one of those days everything was going to go wrong. But he still made a couple of great saves, He still made a couple of.
And the irony about Allison is, and I was saying this to the other folks in the pub, Edison looked shaky too. Mm-hmm. We just need to put some shots on Edison. Edison was shaky, and that's why I'm so proud of Trent when he took that shot. We just needed to challenge the keeper a little bit more. And I think
exactly.
So.
All right. I'll take comments and I'll come to you, Asher, for your brief thoughts about the Liverpool game. First comment of the day is from Ayo, our resident Man U fan, the one who is always telling us how many points they are away from relegation. Thanks for the updates there, Ayo. It says, tight to the 3 point collectors. Okay, they took 3 points today and they won't let us rest, these United fans. We go to Prince AY. Prince AY, great to have you with us. He says, good day, lovely panel of judges. He's asking me if I paid my bills because normally my internet is always acting up. Don't worry, I took precautions today. I'm on the tablet. It's not the internet, it's the computer actually. So you see, the computer is the one acting up. So I just said today I'll use tab and we use the computer. So don't worry, no freezing today, no NEPA interruptions. We're going to be fine. Ayo says it was a cagey game. Both teams seemed too afraid to lose. Yeah, I think City really felt they needed to win because City dropped points against Chelsea the previous week. And it was a home game, so it was more on City to try and win. But for Liverpool, we were just we'll take the points. That'll be fine with us. Oga Kwame is asking you, DJ Kabiesi. You say you don't look too happy. You say, are you okay, bro? Are you okay, bro?
We're in striking distance. I'm good. I'm good. We are right there. So
yeah, you were up at 4:30 a.m. in the pub. I don't expect you to look like you're probably still recovering from that.
And I was out late yesterday too, so I won't talk too much about that. But I didn't get home.
Yeah,
two nights in a row. First night I didn't go to bed. 4:30 is the worst time. It's wow. You stay up all night or do you go to bed? And once it hit midnight, I was like, look, I'm just gonna stay up all night.
You guys based in the US, you guys, it's honestly props to you. Total commitment, waking up at that time to watch your football team. I mean, I'm in Europe, so it doesn't even 12:30 was early for me. I was like 12. It kicked out at 12:30, and I was like, man, that's so early. Imagine waking up at 4:30 a.m.
All these Houston people don't count. Don't include them. New York people, East Coast people. It's just the Pacific people. Your LA's, your Bay Area people. That's a whole other level. So
wow.
That's my little shade. Hey, Rob, we're on the same page, right?
Yeah, we're on the same page for sure.
So you and Raja in the same time zone.
We're in the Bay.
Yeah.
It's weird because sometimes the Newcastle games happen at 4:30 and you're out till 1, 2, and you're trying to determine, should I go to sleep or wait till the game starts?
Wow.
And then you compromise, leave the TV on and sleep on the couch. When you hear goal, you wake up. So
Asha, what part of the US are you? What part of the world are you based in?
I'm on the East Coast. So at the beginning of the season when Chelsea had all those early morning games, and then you wake up at 7 o'clock and then you watch Cucurella play like he's mad. That was just a bad. The Saturday was just bad. The whole Saturday was just ruined, and it was I stopped watching Chelsea games at 12:30. I'm 7 o'clock. I'll wake up at 8:30, 9, and see is it 1-1? Okay, I'll watch. Is it 1-0? I'm not watching. I'm not ruining my day. I'm not ruining my day. I don't.
Okay, so but did you watch the City Liverpool game? Though it was a very early kickoff. I mean, over there, did you manage to watch it? Do you have any thoughts? Any brief thoughts?
I watched. I think I started watching after Trent scored.
Okay.
So, and what I was looking at City and everyone, I think the best decision both coaches made was after an international break, don't lose. You can win or you can draw, but don't lose. If you lose, it just throws off your whole rhythm. So I think that's what was happening. So it seemed like both teams were scared to lose, and everyone was just relying on half chances. And what's up with your boy Nunes, man?
What's up?
Sorry?
Nunes, what's up with him?
I went there. Me and Asha, we have this debate about our number 9. I was like, Nunes is going to outscore or get more goal involvement than Miss Jackson. So that's why he's bringing up Nunes. He's bringing up Nunes now. But don't worry, we'll count it up at the end of the
season. I really wonder with that Jackson fella if he will get another opportunity to do the CU celebration. Because he was talking about doing the CU celebration when they beat Tottenham. Was it 4-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be an opportunity to bring another one. And I was like, when is that opportunity?
The most underwhelming hat-trick in Premier League history. Most underwhelming hat-trick.
I watched the highlights for the Chelsea the Man City Liverpool game. So I didn't watch the full game because who wants to wake up to watch, Liverpool play? But I'm going to say this. I think that I don't think the result was ideal for any of the coaches, for sure, but it wasn't the worst outcome. And I think that one of the things that I started to notice was we watched the highlights was after Manchester City got their first goal, the opportunity by going through Trent Alexander-Arnold, which led to the goal. We started to see situations where Salah and co started to come back to reinforce that side for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And because of that, Trent Alexander-Arnold had the opportunity to go forward as the game proceeded, and the Salah assist led to the goal. So, we are still at the dilemma where people are asking for all the effectiveness that Trent Alexander gives you going forward. He also gives you a bad defensive cover, and he's still a weak spot. And we've been talking about that for 2 or 3 seasons now. The question about whether they're going to move him to the midfield or not, whether he's a defender or not a defender. I'm still surprised that we are still having those conversations because as much as we try to push it, like when Liverpool wins, when they play a good team, everybody knows to use that lane. I mean, how did Newcastle score the 1 goal against you guys, and then we capitulated against a 10-man team? But it was Trent Alexander-Arnold that provided the space. The same thing today. You lose offensive output once you start to cover for the defense, and I still can't believe that they haven't solved that problem. I think that it's going to affect your title chances.
I don't think
to be fair, like that wasn't even really Trent's fault. Like
it wasn't.
It was Allison. Like Allison kicked the ball, and he shanked the ball, and like he completely miskicked.
And there were 2 players there. And the only player people remember is Trent. There were Soboslai was there. The guy dribbled past Soboslai and Trent. The thing is, it's a lazy narrative, and I was so angry at Jamie Carragher yesterday because Carragher was feeding into this. He was feeding into the narrative. Let me tell you why. Why. Yesterday, you said that Trent issue has not been solved. Actually, Trent is an inverted fullback now. He plays a majority of games in midfield. So even the right flank that we're saying, it's not usually there in the right flank all the time. We have our centre back pulling to that side, so Trent can go into the midfield. And the reason why he scored the goal was because he was in the central area, in the midfield area. That's why he scored the goal. So in answer to your question, that why has that not been fixed? It's already been fixed. We're in the process of fixing it because for the past 8 months, Trent has been playing as a hybrid.
Has it been fixed, or are you in the process of fixing it?
We're in the process of fixing it because the team is still getting used to this new system. We didn't start playing this until April. We didn't start playing this inverted system until April. So there's still kinks. And we don't have a proper number 6. We have McAllister, who is all right, but McAllister is not. That's why we wanted to get Caicedo. That's why we're going head to head with Asha's team for Caicedo, because we wanted the proper number 6. But we didn't get a proper number 6. And then we even lost out on Lavia, who were thinking, okay, we'll use Lavia as our number 6. Chelsea took that one from us too. So that's what I mean, that the system is being built because we don't have a proper number 6. McAllister is trying, but it's not a proper number 6. So that's what I mean, that it's in process. Now, the trend thing is just a lazy narrative because nothing he did yesterday was, he was man of the match, and they still spent 30 minutes in Sky Sports talking about Trent's defensive.
It was man of the match because of his offensive.
Because of the goal.
No,
he defended well against Doku. He defended well. Doku did not expose him.
Like I said,
Doku was just dancing.
But Salah and Co came to support him too. And
that's normal in a normal team. Everybody has. Look at Reece James. Didn't Reece James get sent off yesterday? Reece James got sent off yesterday.
Let's talk about Liverpool.
And I'm not saying that all right backs have their weaknesses. Everybody needs support. No right back goes to face Doku one-on-one. Let me tell you right now. You need support to come and help you double team Doku. Doku is going to do that to everybody. Doku is going to do that.
Says hi.
Which
match was that?
High. Anyway,
when Man City,
but also at the same time, but at the same time, like the way how Liverpool play, we expose our backline more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. That's my point.
It's not Trent's fault. It's not Trent's fault.
That's not Trent.
Yeah,
that's not Trent. That's the way we play.
It's a system. The system makes us push forward.
Well, I think the problem you guys have is, one, you need money to buy much more faster center backs or right backs or left backs.
Not saying Virgil van Dijk.
Van Dijk is not fast. How old is Van Dijk?
Van Dijk is fast, man.
Put it this way.
Van Dijk is fast.
What year did
his
acceleration is low, but his pace is fast, man. He'll catch up with anybody. It takes a while, but he'll catch up with you. And that's the reason why he doesn't have to start from far.
On dribble thing. What year was that? Was that last year?
It's this year. let's not be mistaken. Teams part of the reason why Trent is also exposed is because people are staying away from Van Dijk's side. It's true.
Yeah.
They come from Van Dijk's side.
They come to the right side because it's the weaker side, because Robertson and Van Dijk's side is stronger. Every team has a weak spot. So every team, when you play against the team, you target the weaker area. So, but let's not make it a trend discussion anyway.
The fact that you guys are saying it's solved and we're still having this conversation for almost 10 minutes, we've not moved on from it. You guys are trying to find everything. Oh, it's Van Dijk's side, it's Trent's side, he's an inverted fullback now.
It's not an excuse. We're explaining.
Yeah,
we're explaining.
Ultimately, 1-1 against the best team in the world. The treble winning world champion, European champion, best side in the world, 1-1. I wouldn't categorize that as a
bad result. I agree with you. I agree with you. So yeah, congratulations to Liverpool for drawing 1-1 with Manchester City. Great result.
Thank you. We thank you for giving us a sarcastic thank you, and we return your welcome to the Newcastle team that is about to come and join us in the Europa League. We will be happy to have you come and thank us personally in the Europa League.
You're welcome. But I'm going to...
Let me take comments.
Go on.
Let me take comments, because comments are piling up, and then we can move to the next topic, which is Newcastle Chelsea. And so we can let Raji explain to us why they are seated on the throne, because I don't know what throne they are sitting on. So let me take comments. So Prince AY says, now we understand why Oga Kwame is always angry, waking up early to watch rubbish, obviously. But not today. Anyway, United won today, so it wasn't rubbish today. Oga Kwame says, imagine me waking up at 4:30 a.m. to watch Ten Hag crack head ball. God forbid. Imagine. But today was not bad, at least. The reason why I'm happy is they beat Everton, and Everton in the relegation zone. So, not that I'm happy, but I'm okay with United winning today. Oga Kwame says, thank you, Prince AY. even though it's standard time 7:30, still mad early. Kwame has a comment for you here, Asher. He says, "Sorry, bro, Michael Jackson has a better chance of resurrecting and winning the Golden Boot than Nicholas does." Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm just waiting for the end of the season to add up the goal involvement for Nunes and Jackson. That's where I'm going. Prince Ewa says the sad thing about being in America is the fact that games set the tone for the day, especially the early games. Yeah, I think you guys were saying that like if you watch a game and it goes wrong, it just messes up the rest of your day. Ayo says it should be a 3-horse race. And then one of Liverpool or Arsenal drops off in February, March. Yeah, that's around the time City starts winning like 20 straight games around that time of the year. Let's say he said Ben White pocketed Doku. Said Ben White has no weakness. I said what I said. Everybody believes that their right back has no weakness. We see. You say you got explain tire. Well, that's the reality. Explanation. People prefer to buy into a narrative, and it's set in stone, so they'll believe what they believe, even when the evidence is contrary. So we'll move on. We'll move on to the next topic: Newcastle versus Chelsea. Take it away, Ogaraji. Tell us what the thought was.
Before we talk, let's talk about the idea of the throne, because it seems like I don't want it to seem like the throne means that we're sitting at the top of the Premiership. That's not what the throne means. The throne means that everybody is so worried about Newcastle that they are willing to create new rules in the middle of the season to affect how Newcastle plays. At the beginning of this week, 13 clubs voted to ban clubs from getting players from their feeder clubs, right? So, you know, what Manchester City has been doing for years, what Chelsea has been doing for decades, where they'll buy a player and they'll send them to their feeder club. And, you know, Manchester City has the Manchester City Club in America. They have the Manchester City Club in all over the world, in Dubai, all over the world. And because Newcastle is just, you know, Newcastle has players in Saudi Arabia. The PIF owns clubs in Saudi Arabia. All of a sudden, the panic was so high that they voted to try to ban something that they've been doing for decades. Chelsea, Arsenal, all of these clubs acting like as if they had never seen this before. You know, everybody is so worried about Newcastle. Then the second thing they wanted to do was they wanted to ban a situation where if you only have one bid for sponsorship, you would need to show another company that is willing to match that bid before they can accept it, because you know the Saudi government can use Saudi Air and sponsor Newcastle at 100 million a season, and it's not fair market value, right? So they didn't think about all of this when Qatar was signing. With Manchester City, they didn't think about all of these scenarios. But when Newcastle joins and disrupts the top six, all of a sudden they now start to think of all these rules. They want to block Newcastle in January. You can dispute anything you want. It's the truth.
It's not the truth. It's not the truth. They've been looking at third-party ownerships. They've been looking at third-party ownership for the last few years.
For the last few years. But why did they need to vote for it this December? This November? They knew that Newcastle was suffering with injuries.
This Arsenal level of conspiracy.
Hold on. It's not conspiracy, because the news reports. This is how they also reported it. All through the time when the vote was blocked, they said Newcastle has been blocked from. When they were discussing it on Sky Sports, they were saying it's incredibly unfair that Newcastle can loan up to 5 players from Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, it's all the clubs that are doing it, but the narrative is on Newcastle. So I want to keep.
Who are all the clubs that are doing it? Who are all the clubs that are loaning players from Saudi Arabia this season?
It's because Saudi Arabia is just a growing league now, and all
that's the thing now. So that's the thing.
So when it
becomes, so they're not all the clubs.
So all the clubs. It's not principle, right? And then Arsenal comes and talks about the integrity of the league Arsenal that voted for Super League. So I want us to be clear on the
Shot fired.
hypocrisy of this situation. All right, let's just be clear on the hypocrisy.
Newcastle Chelsea, please. We don't want conspiracy theories here. Please give us
This is
Newcastle
not
Chelsea analysis.
the Newcastle Chelsea game was easy peasy, man. I don't understand what. I think what everybody was confused about was the fact that Chelsea seemed to be playing well, but in the underbelly of it, they're still a very weak team, despite the fact that they have $1 billion on the bench, $1 billion on the field. A 17-year-old was destroying Enzo Fernandez left and 17. This is his first Premier League start. They couldn't stop this young boy. All of them just scampering around, trying to figure it. And Rhys James with his mumu head. I was going to give him Donkey of the Day. That guy is the captain of Chelsea. That's your captain. First of all, he kicked the ball away. And then he now tackled the other guy by pulling his shirt. Like, who doesn't know what the hell is going on? Compare that to the Newcastle captain, Lascelles. His mistake led to a goal. What does he do? He scores a goal to compensate, appease the fans, make everybody feel good. But Chelsea, it was so bad that their coach was crying. Well, he wasn't crying. He was whining. They were very, 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 very poor. I really don't feel like there's much to talk about. I really didn't think that we were going to lose against Chelsea, but I think I was tired of talking to Manchester United fans.
Yeah.
So
the Manchester United fans that are ahead of Newcastle on the table, 6th ahead of 7th. I can understand why you're tired of talking to them. I can understand.
Raji, we played you guys in the preseason. Did you watch that preseason?
Yeah, I watched that preseason. I guess who scored? Mad. Jackson scored. How many goals has this scored since?
Oh, no. So here's the thing, right?
You think preseason is real?
Oh no! Listen. Okay, so before the international break, we were going on a roll. We were like a baby getting and starting to learn how to work
with your $1 billion players.
We were. I mean, out of our 26 squad, I think only 6 players are above 28.
Okay.
Everyone else is up 24 and above, 25 and 24 and above and below.
Okay.
You have a lot more experience. So when Poch was not on the touchline and we had international break, I just wanted us to draw so that they can get back in the groove of getting back and playing together. Enzo came back on from South America on Wednesday?
Okay.
He's 22, 21? Who else is on the bench?
Joelinton just came back too. Just
so we are sure. How old is Joelinton?
23.
He's what?
23.
23. No way. I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, I think he's older than that. He's been playing for a while.
Let me check.
See, but that's what I'm saying. We have the inexperience on our side. So we played really badly. But I thought we can beat you guys.
Sorry, Joelinton is 27. My bad.
See, you put my point. That's my point. Your team.
But he played like a 23-year-old with his sprightliness.
He's 27. He has experience.
Okay.
Experience can make you look
younger. Wait. Are you trying to tell me that Chelsea didn't have experience in that game?
Thiago Silva.
What are you talking about, Thiago? That 43-year-old man.
Okay. Who else?
Exactly. Sterling.
Who else?
28. 29. Yeah.
You're telling me, so you think I'm keeping track of Chelsea players?
2 players out of 11. So who else?
Okay, you name all our players too. Tell us our ages too. I don't understand what the age is.
I don't buy this age because Arsenal have a young team. They're top of the league.
Listen.
Yeah.
You have a young team, but you also have players who have played in the league for more than one season.
Okay. That's a good point.
Isak is 24.
Yeah, but you're not relying on Isak every game.
I mean, it was the one that scored the first goal.
Yeah, Cucurella is, I don't know.
Cucurella is not young. Cucurella is 26, 27, no?
No, he's younger than that. He's
Nah. Cucurella is not that young. I'll check it now.
Yeah,
Cucurella is 25.
25. It's not that young. 25 is not that young. Come on.
5 years.
He's not that young, but
And he has played in England for 4 years. How many years? No, I'm not buying this age argument. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
This guy is going around. You're saying.
So far, you guys have only named 3 players out of the starting 11.
So you want to tell me you're playing teenagers? Were you playing teenagers against Newcastle?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Newcastle have a more experienced team who have played together for at least.
Livramento is 21 years old.
Livramento came from us. I know Livramento.
Yeah, he's 21.
I know, but that's
what? Are you sure about
Livramento
that?
came from Chelsea.
Yes, Livramento is 21 years old.
What I'm saying is, our team is so inexperienced because we have a
this
midfield
guy.
is new. Our midfield is new. How many seasons has your midfield played together?
The funny thing is, I didn't hear about this inexperience argument when you were beating Spurs 4-1, when you were drawing with Arsenal, when you were drawing 4-4 with City. I didn't hear about inexperience then.
Let me explain. Okay, our team has talent, but when you're playing against when your coach is on the sideline and you don't have experience, our coach was in the stands, and our team is new. So when they got to when did you guys score the second goal?
Anthony Gordon is 22. Just so we're clear.
No, listen, hold on. What time did you guys score?
You're using age all of a sudden.
No, I'm using the age for a reason. Because
I don't buy it. I don't buy the reason.
When Arsenal were 10th, everyone said the Arsenal was young, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we get that young excuse?
Because you spent £1 billion. You spent £1 billion in 1 year.
Arsenal was 10th and was Arsenal 14th and 10th, right?
Mm-hmm.
How old was Saka then?
Yeah, but what's the point?
4 years old. But what's your point?
But my point is,
that's the point. You guys spent £1 billion.
You have a young team that's inexperienced, so they have games where they play to their talent against Man City, against Tottenham, against the big teams, and then they play the other teams who have played there and they know how to play, and they just lose their minds.
Isn't that the coach's job to make sure
Where
they
was
know
the
how
coach?
to play?
Where was the coach?
The coach was sitting in the stand.
Okay, so how can he talk to the players?
Technology, phone,
iPad. This guy. Are you trying to tell me that the assistant coach is so incompetent that he can't see with his own eyes what was going on?
They even have phone. They communicate. What do you mean?
Assistant coach is not the coach.
Age is not the reason why you lost. Right?
I'm not saying age is the reason why we lost.
You guys, the coach chose the players that were going to play on that pitch today, right? Caicedo didn't play. Whoa, how much is Caicedo?
He came back on Thursday night.
The Newcastle players came back late too now.
Oh,
we have a player from Paraguay.
How
we have Miguel Almiron.
No, how many international players you guys have in your starting 11?
Almost all of our players are international players, man.
My guy.
Okay, let me take comments.
So,
let's fight it up.
You're arguing that the Newcastle team
is more experienced.
Is more experienced. Also internationally poor with their
and the coach was not on the touchline. The coach was not on the touchline.
The coach was on the touchline.
Okay.
Let me take comment. Oga Kwame says, "Thank you, Raji. Miley Cyrus destroyed." Please, who is Miley Cyrus? Who is he talking about? Miley Cyrus. Who is Miley Cyrus? Is it Anthony Gordon is calling Miley Cyrus?
No, he's talking about
Louis Miley, the 17-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the one.
Yeah.
So that's somebody that's a teenager. He's a teenager and destroyed their own business.
He just grew his teeth and he was destroying everybody in Chelsea.
We'll play you guys against in the cup. We'll see.
This is okay.
We'll see. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, Prince White says, "I don't like this happiness on Raji's face. You're lucky you guys played FC Robin Hood. Chelsea have taken over as FC Robin Hood. That was Liverpool a few years ago. Like we beat the big teams and start losing to the small teams. Please let Raji be happy. Let Raji be happy.
We'll beat everybody from London. Don't worry.
Let them be happy. Oga Kwame says, "I don't want Asha representing me at a trial." That's all I'm saying. Asha, you have not represented yourself well today. Come on, bro.
I will learn to hug instead.
Prince Ewa says, "I beg, this Chelsea fan is capping after spending $1 billion. We expect you to be going invincible every season."
That's not possible. If you buy expensive players who are all professionals, yes.
All
And
of
that's
them are
like,
professionals, man. What the hell are you talking about?
okay, compare spending to City spending. Who's
Compare
City buying?
City haven't
the
spent
City.
a lot.
Didn't you
Usually.
hear?
No, no,
You were
no.
competing with Liverpool for
Oh, let's.
Caicedo. You were competing with Liverpool for Levia.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't they all play?
Lavia's injured. Caicedo
Okay,
literally came back for like. Go and listen to the pre.
go. No,
Okay, let me ask you a
that's
question
an
now.
argument.
Let's okay, but apart from trolling, okay. So, what are the problems you see in the apart from age? I know you're saying okay that some of them are new experience in the league, which is true. Some of them are playing in England for the first time. Okay, so for example, Nkuku is coming back. Nkuku is training now.
Mhm.
Nkuku is training and he's going to play in the forward role. So, like apart from trolling now, do you think Nkuku should be playing behind Jackson, or Nkuku should just play as the point man for you? What's the way forward? Because Chelsea, you guys have won 5 games in 25 league games, only 5. You've
You
lost and drawn
you
20.
count the Potter era, the Potter and the Lampard era.
So no, the last 25 games. I'm talking about 25 games. It's still 25 games, whether it's Lampard or Poch era. It's still 25. That's a bad run of games.
You moving the goalpost. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. We
But
went
it's
to
not because I'm just saying the record has not been great. So what do you think is the way forward? Because at least the record has to improve. So is it Nkuku playing behind Jackson or instead of Jackson?
I think I think the way we played in preseason was the setup was Jackson and Kuku, and then I can't remember. We had Modric on the left, and then in preseason he put this guy, this kid. He was like a 17-year-old kid. I can't remember his name because Madueke
No.
was also injured. Madueke was injured in preseason, but the midfield was Enzo Caicedo. The back four was Thiago Badeshil, Rich James, and Ben Chilwell.
Okay.
Chilwell was one of our most experienced players. He's been out for like the whole season.
Yeah, he was out a lot last season. So I think he has injury. He's injury prone. I think. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Sadly.
I'd set back four of Rich James, Silver, Badeshil, and Chilwell has been injured for like they've only played like one game together. I think. I don't even think they played any game together.
Okay, I think this is not even a valid argument because Newcastle had 3 goalkeepers.
Please,
In their,
my guy. Listen,
we're talking about
listen,
3 goalkeepers in the back. They had 2 retirees who are collecting pensions
experience, right?
Yeah, but they're
Okay,
retirees.
then. Okay, go on.
Okay, wait. So why are you spending all this money on players with no experience?
Because that is their vision. Their vision is that in 2 years or 3 years, they're going to be better.
So our vision is to continue seeing Chelsea lower down in the league until you get them. Like that don't make no sense. You spend $1 billion and you want to complain. What I'm visualizing is I'm seeing Chelsea low down.
I like that vision, man.
I mean, that's fine.
Raji, I gotta call you out too. You made a comment at the very beginning, man. That was
I did.
You said that all the other leagues are doing the same thing. You know, everyone's coming down on us because we want to, bring in players from our other league. I've never seen another team in the Saudi league. You guys own the top 4 teams in the Saudi league.
Okay.
You own the top 4 teams. That's like saying I own Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Napoli, and I want to be able to pull another player.
So because the principle is the principle. Okay, let's be clear. The principle is if you own clubs in America and you are buying horrible old players in your club, but you can't bring to your main club, it's one thing. But the principle is the same. You have feeder clubs in Netherlands, in America, and you are distributing players from one league to the other.
And then emphasis on the keyword feeder clubs, not feeder league. Not feeder league. You have a whole league that's feeding into your team.
You know the funny thing? I'm going to be 100% sure that Newcastle is not going to buy anybody from Saudi Arabia. 100% sure.
You have the money now.
We don't have the money.
Yes, you
do. We don't. Have you seen what they're doing to Everton?
Yes, but you still have the money.
No.
They broke the rules. Newcastle won't break the rules. You didn't break the rules.
We don't have the money because we don't have the spending cap. So Newcastle has a low base of spending, so they can't spend beyond a certain amount.
How much
right?
Is it?
So what's wrong with getting players at a discount? Hey, let's go to Saudi Arabia. This club will pay
No,
X amount of dollars.
I don't think you have to understand that Saudi Arabia is not doing it for. It's not doing it for their own benefit. They are doing it because they want to build the league there. So they're not going to buy. They're not going to buy expensive players that they want people to come and watch, only to give it to Newcastle. Because those are two separate things. They are supporting Newcastle as one thing, and the Saudi Arabian league is getting bigger because they want to host the World Cup in 2036, and obviously they've won it now. So it's a situation for them where they're trying to build their infrastructure for sports and also maintain their relevance in the sporting zone. They don't do that if every time they buy a remarkable player, they send it to Newcastle. It's not the same thing. I don't think it's going to happen.
But if you can,
people are scared of the potential.
Yeah, but I think Newcastle can spend money. I actually, but not excessively, because with FFP, you're allowed to make losses of £105 for £5 million over 3 years. And one good thing about Mike Ashley was a bad owner, but one good thing was your finances were in good shape before he left. I mean it's a question of there was flexibility.
The question is not whether our financials were in good shape or not.
I mean, you're not in debt. You are not in major debt.
But our infrastructure was crumbling.
Yeah.
People were training in hot baths outside. They put ice buckets.
But Raji, you know the good thing about FFP, those infrastructure that you're saying, if your owners put money towards infrastructure, FFP don't count that.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't count that. So that's what I mean. I'm just trying to say that you can spend money. That's the thing. You can spend money if you want.
Fair. But the thing is, for you to attract players of a certain caliber, you have to have the infrastructure there.
True.
So Newcastle have not been able to attract players because they come and they see the infrastructure, which is one of the things Do you see? Did you? Okay,
Raji, I'll hold you there. Right. I'll hold you there.
No. There's some infrastructure you can ignore. When you see £500,000 per week,
there's nobody at Newcastle who's earning more than 200,000 a week. Nobody at Newcastle.
Hey, but I'll say this, Raji. Like your team, like I have no beef or issue with Newcastle. Like your owners are going to do the right thing. You're going to fix up a lot in your town. But going back to the point earlier, I think it's wise to make sure that you're eliminating any potentials for foul play in the future, whether it's Newcastle or whether some other club gets bought out by somebody else. The integrity of the game should be respected and put in.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I have no beef with Newcastle.
But the thing about it is, before we just end this, I want to say, number one, I agree with you, and number two, if there's anything that the Newcastle people have been doing, is just trying to make sure they don't outspend FFP for whatever reason. I mean, if you watch the documentary they had when they were trying to buy Anthony Gordon, they haggled over £5 million. They wanted 50. They said they will give you 40 with 5 million in add-ons. And they argued for that for almost 20 days before Everton agreed. So this is one of those scenarios where they are doing a good job of maintaining within the FFP. All right,
that's why Manchester United are in that situation. That's the thing. Eventually, FFP is making people comply, because even Manchester United, that's why they're not spending crazy in the summer and also in January, because they're almost at the point of violating FFP. They even got fined for breaking one of the smaller charges. I think they got fined how much, very little amount. But I mean, generally, FFP is keeping everybody in line. Nobody's just spending stupidly, except Chelsea. We don't know how Chelsea are doing there. And then we don't know how Chelsea did their thing.
Everyone forgets that Chelsea couldn't sign players for half a season.
Yeah, it's true.
Everyone forgets that.
Chelsea, the way how Chelsea's doing is actually really smart. Like the question is it going to work? But like the whole amortization over 8 years, dividing payments. It's not really $1 billion that's been spent this offseason. If I'm not mistaken, I think it counts as like 100.
They're amortized over a long period. Yeah.
And then they're also like, selling players too. Like
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, like how much he goes for?
65
Like
million.
60 million. You know,
65 million for
you know,
Havertz.
that cuts that bill in half for that year, and then I'm sure you're going to sell Colwell and then any other like academy type players. So I can't be Chelsea yet in terms of violation.
I was just trolling. I know how Chelsea did it, and they're not breaking any rules. Chelsea are not breaking any rules. I mean, currently they might have broken rules under Ibrahimovic, but currently, but not now. Not now. Okay, we'll take comments and just start wrapping up as we talk about the final topic. Prince Ewa is saying even City didn't spend 1 billion in one calendar year. Okay, it's just talking about Chelsea. And then Facebook user, please give us your name if you are on Facebook so we can know who is making the comment. Says Chelsea has spent more than City, no excuses. Yeah, I know it comes back to that money. Well, Chelsea has spent more than City recently. I don't think that's true overall. Recently, yeah, not overall. I mean, City have spent billions, you know. Let's just move to the next topic and start rounding up. So we're talking about the league title race. Like, do we have a proper 3-4 horse race? Because looking at the table tonight over here, we have Arsenal, Liverpool, we have Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Villa, you know, Spurs, all separated by 4 points. I think that's the top 5 separated by 4 points. And yeah, that's looking interesting. But do we think it will stay that way? Do we think, there'll be like 3 teams in this all the way to the end? Or do we think it's just be 2 teams by the time we get to March or April? I'll start with you, Asher. What's your opinion on the title race?
So I think the only way teams can challenge City is they have to give up one of the big competitions. You can't challenge City and go in the Champions League. You can't challenge City and go in the FA Cup. Or at West, you can't challenge City and go for FA Cup and Champions League. So Arsenal have to decide which one they want the most. Do they want to be a trophy or do they want the league? Because they don't have a good enough bench to challenge City after playing Champions League. After playing, say if they get Bayern in quarterfinals on Wednesday, and then they have to go to who? They have to go to say Brentford. Are you gonna play your starters against Brentford, or are you gonna rest them for Bayern? And can you rely on Havertz to score 2 goals against Brentford every weekend, or against a Brentford or Wolves kind of team? So, and then I guess the question for Liverpool is the same question: which competition can you guys afford to not win?
I think Liverpool is in a better. I think Liverpool is in a better position than Arsenal from that perspective. I think Liverpool can compete in multiple competitions. They have depth in their bench. They have Gravenberch. They have Szoboszlai. They have good players that they can still call on. And I think that they're in a better position than, let's say, Arsenal, whose bench is a little bit weaker. So in a scenario like this, I also think that Manchester City is suffering the treble disease.
Yeah.
I think typically in a scenario like this, after winning, I think Champions League was what they wanted the most. And every single season, they came up with the strength to go, we have to win the Champions League. Now they've won the Champions League and they're in a bit of a slump. They need to find something that drives them again, that motivates them. And until they do so, I think that they are vulnerable. We'll see. It doesn't mean they're not going to win the season. This is not writing it off, but we are seeing like weaknesses in their armor, where they're making small mistakes that are leading to goals. They're not covering their lines. People are making use of their half spaces. The Chelsea game specifically is an example of where they didn't cover their lines. Every single time they felt like they had done everything they needed to do, they were exposed a little. I think that we are seeing a little bit of that. It doesn't mean they're not going to win it, but I think that this is definitely a 3-horse race, and I think it's between Manchester United. I'm joking. I'm sorry. That was a joke. Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. And I think that this is a really good chance for Liverpool to top it, as long as Gerrard doesn't slip. Who knows?
Thankfully, we don't have Gerrard in our team again. Bola, DJ Kabiyesi, what's your thought on the title race?
Oh, definitely Arsenal, City, Liverpool were up there. Aston Villa is sneakily up there, man. I don't think they need to be talked about. And same in Tottenham, that was a bad loss today, but Aston Villa are there. I'm not saying that they're going to win, but Unai Emery, he's a good coach, man, and he's keeping the discussion going. So I think for now we're definitely in a five team race. I think closer towards the end of the season, come March, April, we'll probably reduce down to 3. But for now, each of these teams are viable.
Prince AY says one thing he has noticed this season is teams have started to find ways to take points off City. I don't know, it's going in hard on our Chelsea fan here. Sorry, Asha, it's not usually like this. I don't know why guys are mean to you today, but we're usually nice and friendly. Sorry. But he says he says you should worry about Luton first before worrying about Arsenal. T for tank. Henry, thank you for joining us. Henry says, wait a minute, you finally give Arsenal a chance. Say good evening, and okay, I think he's talking about Villa. I'll just quickly give my thoughts before we go to Kudos and Donkey. Yeah, it's true. I think we should not I don't want to get too excited about City dropping points. I had a look at their record the last 5 seasons or so. Usually they're around this stage with the number of points they have. So it's usually around 29 points, 32 points, around 28 points at this stage of the season. So they're not doing worse off than they're doing. I take Raji's point that I think they might suffer the treble blues later in the season. I take that point because after a while, some of those players start losing motivation. But the thing is, Pep, it drives them so hard. Mm-hmm. So even if maybe a couple of them lose motivation, it will drive the other guys so hard to keep being motivated. So it's true that
I want to ask you a question real quick about that.
Yeah.
One of the things that Rodri said after they won the treble last year was that Pep driving them so hard was putting them at the brink, and that he felt like sometimes he overdoes it. He mentioned this in an interview that he felt like, we've won this stuff now. Hopefully Pep doesn't drive us as hard as before. Do you? I mean, I don't remember where I saw the quote, but I know that he said he was talking about how much work it took for them to get to that point, and it felt
it's clear. It's clear. You can see Kevin De Bruyne. I think there was a match where Pep was telling him to cover somebody, and De Bruyne was telling Pep, "Shut up." And after the match, Pep said, "I like that because I push him hard." So even Kevin De Bruyne, who is their star player, gets pushed hard. So it's not just Rodri. I just think City, it's true. They might probably drop. Maybe intensity might drop maybe 2%, 3% compared to before. But I think they'll stay there. They'll be there to the end. I don't see them. When Liverpool won the league, it's like we managed to just win 26 games out of 27. And the gap was so much, City just gave up. I don't see that happening this season. City will be there all the way to the end. But for me, Arsenal are the biggest worry. Because I started seeing shades of a championship winning team in Arsenal. Like the game yesterday, I watched that game from beginning to end. And those are the type of games, normal Arsenal would drop points in those type of games against Brentford. But they found a way. They got the 3 points. And this season, they're sneaking this kind of wins. I recognize it from when Liverpool started looking like challengers. You start sneaking these 1-0 wins, these 2-1 wins, 1-0, 2-1, racking up the points. People are saying Arsenal are not attacking the way they used to attack. Yeah, that's how you win league titles. You don't go out and you're not like even Man City. When Man City are winning league titles, they have a lot of 1-0 wins. They have a lot of narrow margin wins. People just think they blow teams away 5-0 every week. No, go look at their record. Man City don't go every week beating everybody 5-0. They sneak in all these slim wins, and Arsenal has started building that habit. So I think in answer to the question, I think it will be Arsenal, Liverpool, City to the end. And I think Arsenal. Sorry. Yeah.
That's why I said that Arsenal is going to have to sacrifice their competition.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They have to sacrifice. Yeah.
Because
what does Chelsea have to do, though?
Come on. I'll bet you have to grow up. Don't worry. I give you 2 years. 2 years, we'll come back to this conversation. After 2 years, Enzo is not one of the best sixes in the Premier League.
In 2 years, you'll be a Newcastle fan. Don't worry.
Oh wow!
Okay, here's a bet. In 2 years, I don't think you guys are still going to be the top six.
In 3 years, you think that we would have started the Super League?
No, but wait, you guys are meeting in the League Cup this season.
Yeah,
are you meeting?
Yes.
I would like to have you guys back on. Exactly. I would like to have you guys back for that.
We'll have a 17-year-old goalkeeper in our midfield, and we'll still win for one.
No way.
Okay, I'll take comments before we go to Kudos and Donkey because we're just about to wrap up. Henry says, but for real, after I'm learning how to win ugly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That I started saying it. And it's worrying for me because I don't want them to break that drought. But they're getting closer. They're starting to win those games. I think normally they will drop points. But yeah, Arsenal, they're going to be there to the end. So it says that's the next step in the position. Yeah. That match yesterday, normal Arsenal, they probably would have even lost it. But they won it. So that's Arsenal for you. Dario says he thinks it will be a three-way race. City have lost many key players and motivation is not as high. Yeah, that's true. They're considering late goals versus Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool. It was a late goal, 88 minutes. There. So we go to Prince AY. He says, so we're talking about title race and you're mentioning FCI line. Is it Spurs? I think it's Spurs he's talking about. Says topic. I think that Spurs is FCI line. I think. Please clarify, Prince AY, clarify which club you mean by FCI line. We're not too sure. Henry says City will be fine, bro. Remember they have achieved this feat that their best player. That's true. De Bruyne has not played. Maybe he's played only 2 games this season. He said they'll pick just at the right time. That's what he says. Henry says Chelsea and a rebuild. It's true. We're trolling Chelsea, but we know they are rebuilding. But it's just that. But for that amount you guys have spent, you should not be this bad. You should not be this bad. Come on. I look at the table now. They are 10th. Come on. You should not be this bad. We know you are rebuilding, but come on. Can't be that bad.
They're doing better than last season, Sha. They were relegation candidates last season.
Newcastle going to be 2 years from now. You're going to have to buy a whole bunch of new players. I'm telling you, 2 years.
Everybody buys new players. That's not an argument.
Yo, I'm telling you, you're going to buy a lot of new young players.
Oh, we're not going to follow the Chelsea blueprint. Don't worry.
Okay.
Kudos and Donkey.
17-year-olds.
Oh my gosh, this Newcastle fan is on fire.
I'm joking with you, man.
We'll come back next week.
It's just banter. It's just banter.
Of course, we appreciate it. Come on, that's what we're here for, banter, and it's been good natured, and I really appreciate you guys. We've kept it lively, so we'll just round up now with the Kudos and Donkey. I'll start with you, DJ KBAC. You can give me your kudos for the week. Who or what or which?
Just kudos or Kudos and Donkey?
Kudos and Donkey, yeah. We can do both together. So we can round up.
So my donkey goes to Everton. How'd you lose points for your day off? Like, come on, man. but connected to that, and this is weird. This is really weird. My kudos goes to FSG. And I've never given FSG any praise for anything, but I like the fact that they're putting pressure on the league to make a decision regarding Manchester City. That's going to impact everybody, right? And then also, for once, I actually appreciate them being tight bastards.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if we're in any type of financial issues because of their nature. So, I have to give them their props just for one time.
Okay, Donkey. Oh, Everton. Yeah, you mentioned Everton. Sorry. Okay, we go to you. Our king in the north, Donkey, and kudos of the week, please.
My kudos of the week goes to our Father who art in heaven. I'm joking. Goes to Eddie Howe. Newcastle has been suffering an incredible injury route. Like I was saying, against Chelsea, we had 3 goalkeepers on the bench, 2 left backs, and we've been ravaged by injuries. The fact that we're able to maintain any momentum whatsoever. Because I remember, I followed the Newcastle boards. Nobody expected us to beat Chelsea, but Chelsea expected to lose, and they did. So good luck. I don't think that we're going to get anything from the Paris game. So I think that I'm fine with our escapades in the Champions League. In fact, I don't even want us to be third. I want us to be fourth. Just get out.
No, we want to meet you in Europa.
No,
Reunion,
no,
reunion.
we don't want
Darwin
to be,
Nunez reunion.
we don't want to be third. So let's see what happens. If we win on Tuesday, it will be interesting because that whole group, anybody can still qualify.
Yeah, true.
If AC Milan wins their next 2 games, they could peep PSG and Newcastle. Dortmund could lose their next 2 games and they could come third. That whole group, when they were talking
It's
about
open.
it being the most difficult group, I think that I underestimated it. It's very difficult to get out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out. Irrespective, I think I'm proud of my boys. Donkey of the week goes to Reece James, captain of Chelsea. They need him next week. And he decided to, number one, kick the ball like a child. He wasn't even the youngest person on the field. Louis Miley was the youngest person on the field, and Louis Miley didn't kick any ball. And then he made a mistake and pulled the player down, and he got a red card. And in the game, you need him to be the captain. He decided that he was going on vacation. So Reece James is my donkey of the week.
Okay, over to you, Asha. Kudos and donkey of the week.
A donkey goes to Cucurella and Rich James because
See, we agree.
no, I agree with that because I watched the game and at least for 3 of those goals, one of them was a fault for either at least one of them. It was bad. It was just a bad game, and like even if you go watch the last goal, Cucurella is playing midfield. You're right back. What are you doing in the midfield? But those are my donkeys. My kudos of the week goes to Eric Ten Hagen and what's his name? Aston Villa. Because no matter what Kwame says, Ten Hagen is here to stay. No matter what. He's here to stay. He's here to stay until the end of the season. But yeah.
And they're only 6 points off the top of the league. They can still win the league, can't they? Man United. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
Okay, my kudos of the week. So my kudos is in agreement with you, Asha. Well, it was in my mind already. Mr. Good evening, Mr. Europa League title four in a row. How many did they win in a row? Unai Emery. I mean, the guy, I think he has been so disrespected. I think he has been, like, even for me, now look at what I did. I just said good evening and all of that. He's a serious manager. He's a very good coach. And today I saw something from him when I was watching their match. When they equalized, I saw passion. That he's mild man. It's like this gentle, polite guy. But when they scored, if go and see his celebration, the guy was going crazy. It was like he was about to break something when they equalized. I was like, man, this guy, he has passion. It's just that maybe he hides it, And he's a good manager. They're only 2 points off the top of the league. And this Aston Villa, they are missing Tyrone Mings, who is their captain, who is their best defender, central defender. They have a couple of other people injured. They have a left back that they are, Moreno, I think, is also injured. They also have injuries, and they are playing not Europa, they're playing the Conference League. So, and they are just 2 points up top. So kudos to him, kudos to Aston Villa and Unai Emery. Donkey of the week, Mr. Ange Pasta no clue. Like Prince Ewa said, man, what's happening with Spurs? Everybody had this guy like second coming of Pep Guardiola plus Klopp plus Ancelotti. Everybody had this Ange Postecoglou as the manager, three managers of the month in a row. Mm-hmm. And where are they now? They're fifth, top out of the top 4. And it's not just him. I know they're suffering from injuries, but I mean, when you're touched by Spurs, there's no way you're going to be Spursy. He has been touched by Spurs.
We broke them.
You broke them.
It's
Spurs. The history of the Tottenham.
But the thing about it is, we kind of called that. We said it was going to happen, right? We said it was going to happen, that they were going to have this problem. That is not that they were getting high on the initial bouts of getting a new manager in. But and I think when the Aston Villa fan was here, Lindsay, she talked about this too, and so
it's true.
Yeah, so we'll see how it happens.
They're down to 5th, so I'll just take the final few comments and then we can round up. Prince I was talking. Well, okay, he's clarifying that FC line is Spurs, so that's why he said the manager and Pastor no clue. Henry says they try to buy their way out of a rebuild. That's the problem. I think he's referring to Chelsea. Facebook user also just referring to Chelsea, that the Chelsea's rebuild is a scam. They have the most expensive defenders in the world. It's true. They have the most expensive defenders in the world.
Money laundering. Man,
Bola, we were about to buy Caicedo for £110 million or whatever. Imagine.
Money saved.
Don't worry, you come back.
Money saved.
Okay. Kudos, Prince I said kudos, Newcastle as a whole. Yeah. Donkeys and Postanoglu, same for me. Playing 100 miles per hour football is not sustainable, and adding Ireland on top of that. Nah, and his team is struggling. Reece James is a remote worker. On that note, we'll round up for today. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a fantastic one. Thanks for hanging out with us once again. Thank you for all the people who commented, all the people who viewed us today. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Once again, I'll take time to give the social media handles. It's YouTube at Footy Fantasy, Twitter at Footy AD Fantasy, Instagram at Fantasy Footy, and then Facebook. You can find us there. Also, we're on fantasyfooty.com. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
It was nice chatting with everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.